So what makes people want to live here? There's like 3 to 4 million foreigners living in Thailand right now. Most of those are retirees, so there's got to be something worth coming here for. If you look on the internet, people will tell you that it's because it's cheap, because there's beautiful beaches. Some people will tell you it's because of the friendly people. Whilst all of those things are true, since I've been living here, I've found out there's one thing that really keeps me here and is so different from being back home. And that is, you don't have to worry too much. And in this video, I'm going to tell you 10 things that I don't worry about so much since I've lived in Thailand. One of the phrases that you'll hear almost everywhere you go in Thailand is Jai Yen Yen. Jai is the heart and Yen is cool, so it's kind of like keeping a cool heart. Jai Yen Yen, they might be talking about not getting too excited, or they might be talking about not getting too angry, or not getting too wound up by things that really, in the big scheme of things, are not that important. You see the endless traffic jams in Bangkok. In a lot of countries, there'd be road rage every single minute here. And although, yeah, that does happen occasionally, it's amazing that you hardly ever hear anyone like honking the horn or giving the finger or getting angry. People just sit and wait because they know that's what they've got to do. They keep a cool heart. And the thing that I found is that increasingly, I don't allow myself to get wound up by the things that I can't affect, or by the things that are just really not that important. And with that Jai Yen Yen, more relaxed attitude, there's also a relaxed attitude towards timekeeping or punctuality. Thai time is a real thing, so don't be surprised if you tell your Thai friends to meet you at 7 o'clock and they turn up at 7:30 or even 8 o'clock, because they're more relaxed about it. They might give you an excuse like, oh, there was a traffic jam in Bangkok, or they might not, because it's just a more relaxed attitude towards punctuality. Oh. Well, okay. It's not as easy as it looks, is it? So even if you were the last one to turn up, it's not like anyone's going to say something to you about it, because there's not so much criticism to you out here. It's like, do whatever you like. There's not that pressure to conform and fit in most occasions, except the really formal ones. Other than that, you don't have to worry about what other people think or say about you. It's not worth it. So then, really, you don't have to worry about your age. They say that age is just a number out here, and whilst that's obviously not true, you can feel like that, because, I mean, I remember going to a nightclub in London once. I was about 35 years of age and the bouncer said, you can't come in, you're too old, you're not dressed properly. Fast forward nearly 30 years, if I want to go to the best nightclub in town, the best rooftop restaurant in town, the trendiest hangout spot in town, nobody's going to stop me by looking at my age. In fact, Thailand is one of those cultures where they do actually respect age and status. So if you're slightly on the older side like me, you do get some respect from young people, which is sadly missing in many parts of the West, as long as you don't mind being called papa sometimes. The other thing that you don't have to worry about in the same way is the weather. Now, I know at the time of doing this, it's the rainy season. Looks like it might rain anytime soon, actually. And they have had some flooding in the north, Chiang Mai and places like that recently. But I still say you don't have to worry about the weather as being changing every single day. Have you got your brolly? Have you got your thick coat? In fact, I did bring a thick coat out here like 15 years ago. I've never used it once yet, because even during the winter season, it's still hot. And then next season it's hot again. And then the final season is very hot. So if you're like me and you've got a few creaking old bones, you don't have to worry about the weather in the same way as you might back in your own country. Actually, to be more specific about something that you don't have to worry about, some people say to me, isn't it just too hot? Because they come out here for a vacation, for a holiday for a week or two, and then they feel that like wall of heat as they come out of the airport, and they think that they're never going to get used to it. But actually, you'd be surprised how quickly the body does get used to the hot environment. My old bones actually prefer it. And the other thing is that if you're like Thai people, you don't have to be going around with like a skimpy top on or shorts, or in fact, I never take my hat off because I'm scared of getting burnt. And you find most of the local people, they're looking for the shade, they're not looking for the sun. And when it's really hot, the one place where a lot of Thai people might go to is the shopping centre. Free Wi-Fi and free air conditioning, which actually reminds me of my next point. You don't have to worry about getting your food out here. Because whilst a lot of people do say the Thai food is some of the most delicious in the world, other people don't really like spicy food. I've got to be honest with you. I'm not going to say I've actually dived straight in with the local Thai food, somtam, maybe some of the Thai fruits. What do we have here? Durian. What do I eat then? Here?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Eat the whole thing?
Yeah.
Me met mai? Met.
มีแต่ว่ากินได้
Oh, กินได้ Oh my goodness. It's juicy. Really juicy. How do you say tissue in Thai? But you can get every type of food that you want here. If you do come into a shopping centre, you can get the food from whatever country you came from, maybe as good as it was back home. But on the other days, go out and get some Thai food. You can get a plate of delicious Thai food on the street for maybe around 40 baht. But maybe if you are caught out in the warm or even the rain, as it's starting to rain now, and you need a refreshing drink, how about a fresh coconut like this one? 30 baht. 30 baht, that's not even more than $1, is it? What do you have? Gordon Ramsay. I know him. I should look at the menu, thank you. So this is M-Sphere, which is one of the newest shopping centres in Bangkok. A lot of Thais, they come to the shopping centres, particularly the students, because they've got free air conditioning and also free Wi-Fi, which reminds me actually, Wi-Fi connectivity. You might be thinking that Thailand's a bit of a third world country. You're wrong, it's not. Especially where communications are taken into account. I remember just 15 years ago when I first came here, if I needed to keep into contact with my family and my friends back in the UK, which I did want to do, I had to get a special SIM card to do it, or a special calling card, or go to a special phone box, and maybe it was quite expensive, charged out by the minute. Fast forward just 15 years, and now I can make Zoom calls, I can send line messages or WhatsApp messages, and the speed of the internet here for the cost of it is absolutely amazing. It's time for me to eat. I'll tell you one thing I do worry about. I worry about getting all of this right down my lovely shirt. But anyway. And just a couple of other things. One of the things that I was a bit worried about before I came to Thailand is, would I be understood? I've got to tell you a little secret that when I was at school, I learned not only English, but also French and Spanish. French, I think they gave me unclassified as my exam result, and Spanish, the teacher said don't even bother turning up for the exam, so I'm not really a natural at languages. But actually I found two things since coming to Thailand. One is that, particularly in places like this, of course, Bangkok, most people will understand you, and listening to the staff there telling me about the menu in English, many of them do speak very good English. But the second thing is, even if you don't consider yourself to be a natural at learning languages, and even if you're slightly more advanced age like me, you can learn the language enough to get by, and that's what I've managed to do over the past 15 years. One other thing that I was worried about before I came to Thailand, and I actually worried about it back in my own country as well, and that is like personal safety. And when you hear some of the stories about gun crime or knife crime from some of the Western countries, it does make you think that actually Thailand, by and large, is a pretty safe country. Most foreigners don't really see any crime out here. Anything that might go on between the locals, you'd be very unlucky to get involved in that. And Thai people are actually very, very honest. You only have to go in a shopping centre, it's time to close, and they just cover the things that they sell with a cloth and leave them there, and they come back the next day. And for most people living in Thailand, they'll probably agree with me and say it's not something they worry about as much as they would if they were back in the West. Another thing that I was worried about before I came to Thailand is whether I could get a long-term visa. Obviously, as you get older, you can get a retirement visa from the age of 50 in Thailand, and for that you need 800,000 Thai baht in a bank. But even if you don't qualify for that one, there's usually a way around things. You could get a marriage visa, you don't need as much money in the bank to get one of those. Or if you're not yet a retirement age, there's a whole range of visas that they do now, some of which didn't exist when I first came to Thailand. You can get a student visa to learn Thai language, you can get a visa to learn Muay Thai. If you've got money in the bank, a lot of money in the bank, you can get an elite visa that might last you about 5 years or more. And the most interesting one recently has been the digital nomad visa, where you can stay in Thailand for basically the whole year and then renew it. So you could be able to stay in Thailand up to 5 years. If you are thinking about coming to live in Thailand, retiring or getting a long-term visa, let me know what you think the issues might be in the comment section below. On the other hand, if you're already in Thailand and you've lived here for a long time, what's your experience been like? Is it the same as mine or is it different? Again, I welcome the comments down below. But anyway, I'm going to have a quick look round at Hemisphere because I haven't been up here before. It's quite impressive. Another thing that tells me that Thailand really is an on the up kind of country even now. And I'll be back with a new video very, very soon. So if you like this one, please give it a like and a share, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.